LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
Hello, everybody. Darrell Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network here at Redskins training camp for the final day 13 of Redskins training camp. It has been an absolute amazing time here for the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Glad to have been able to cover the Washington Redskins and bring you guys the best coverage possible. I want to also thank everybody who's come onto the page and subscribed to the page. The Redskins coming off a really tough loss last week to the Cleveland Browns in the first week of the preseason. Now, of course, most Redskins fans know that they did not have the majority of their starters in for this game, but it was also nice to see some of the players that we've seen in camp shine a little bit, and it was also nice to see, Dwayne Haskins finally get on the field. Now, he had a little bit of a rough start. He had the 2 interceptions, but if you go back and look, he made some really good throws, that 33-yard pass to Kidsey, and then he also made a 27-yard pass to Kidsey, which was really nice. There were some highlights in that game that a lot of Redskin fans could be proud of. Jimmy Moreland had a great game. He led the way in tackles with 6. He had a forced fumble at the goal line, which was very critical for this team, and he pretty much knocked the pass away that probably would have been a touchdown any other way. But Jimmy Moreland had a great defensive game, as well as Cole Holcomb. He had a great defensive game. He's a guy that we will continue to tell you that you have to look for. This team can really take a huge step here on this final day before they head to the game against Cincinnati. We're going to see if they get more of their starters out for the second game of the preseason. No word yet on who, what, and when, or who will be playing, or who will be starting on that day. Now, what we do know is that the Redskins did bring in a new quarterback today in Jalan McClendon, former Baylor quarterback, 6'5", 212 pounds. This kid is a dual-threat quarterback. They brought him in because they lost Josh Woodrum. He got injured during the preseason game, and he's going to have surgery. So they brought in McClendon to take his place. Looked pretty good out there today, like what I saw from him. Looks like Colt McCoy may be the starter going into the season, but we'll see how that goes. Case Keenum had himself a good game, and looking at that overall, if I had to rank it right now, I would give you, it'll be Colt McCoy, Case Keenum, and then, of course, Mr. Dwayne Haskins. Now, of course, here in the LegacyMaker Sports Network, we got a brand new show coming out called Redskins 732, which you'll be able to catch on YouTube. We'll do our previews, and we'll do our recaps of games on there, so make sure you check that out when they come out starting this week on Wednesday. And with all that being said, we're going to take you now to our videos and highlights from day 13, the final day of Redskins training camp. I'm Darrell Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network.
You start with Jalan, I guess, and what led you to bring him in and what his role will be.
Well, he'll be obviously the 4th quarterback, and try to get him some snaps out here and maybe clean up some games there. 3rd, 4th preseason game maybe.
Skill set wise?
Yeah, I think he had a good workout and moves around a little bit, but has a big arm. Still got to get him taught the offense here. It should be a long process, but he's a good kid, got some talent.
For Montez, what would you like to see from him this week, and would you anticipate him playing Thursday?
Yeah, I think we'll see. He had a decent day yesterday. We added more reps to his plate, and he looked like he handled it pretty good, came out clean. So just add more and more reps today, and then have off day tomorrow, and then see where he's at Tuesday, and hopefully we'll get him some playing time.
Jay, final day of camp. Just can you give an overall impression that you feel how things went these last?
Yeah, I think it went good. You know, we accomplished what we wanted to. You know, we've had some good days, had some sloppy days, as most teams do this time of year. But overall, I think we've got a good look at a lot of guys, and that's the intent of training camp, to get your system installed and then watch these guys progress, watch these guys play, and then just continue to add to our evaluation process. And I think we've done a good job so far. Still a lot of time left, you know, for these guys to show what they can do and put some days together and try to fight to make this football team.
You've got a weird week with the moving back and everything. Have you come up with a plan for the second preseason game? Does that impact how much you want to install or get people out there?
Yeah, today's going to be a good day. We're still in shoulder pads today, so I think we'll have a good day today, and I'll see how we come out of this injury-wise. And then I'll make my determination probably tomorrow or Tuesday and decide who's going to play and how much.
Do you have a sense on Colt, if he'll be available?
Yeah, I think he will be.
Jay, with going this whole camp now without Trent, did you kind of get a feel for how that whole left tackle thing is going to play out? Do you have a better feel for it now, or?
Well, we're still working through it, really. You know, Jalan is getting more reps, and obviously Penn. We could also look at Flowers over there a little bit more at left tackle, depending on how we feel Wes Martin's doing at left guard. He's getting better and better. So the biggest thing is put our best 5 guys out there and make sure that that left side is good. You know, so we're continuing to work. Jalan's, you know, coming back from his injury, like we all know, and he's got a chance. And obviously Donald is a veteran guy who's been there and blocked a lot of guys in his career. And then Eric Flowers has played both sides of the right and left tackle in his career. So we have some guys that can play it. We just got to figure out which one's best for us.
I mean, there was a lot of talk before, you know, like, well, this will be a positive. These guys can get a lot of work. And
Yeah.
now that you've gone through the 2 weeks in a game, is it a positive still, or is it, gosh, you know?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it is a positive. They're getting work, and that's a good thing because your depth is tested throughout the years, or throughout the year, as we all know. So the more reps these guys get, the better we'll feel come game time if they have to start. So, you know, we're a work in progress without a doubt. We're not a finished product by any stretch, but these guys are working hard, and I believe we'll find one come Philly.
I was asking the other day about his comfort level working from under center as opposed to shotgun as he did in college. You say feels good about that. Can you kind of speak to his comfort level there? And
yeah, he's getting more comfortable for sure, and it doesn't look unnatural at all to him. I think it looks like he's done it his whole career. Really, he's natural under center. We've only had one botched exchange, and that's usually on the center, you know. But he's been fine in that regard.
Jay, I imagine we'll see a few more of the veteran guys game 2 of the preseason, but for the young guys like Dwayne and Jimmy, is one of your messages, hey, let's show the improvement, let's show, you know, the film study from week 1 to week 2? Is that one of the things that you tell the rookies?
Yeah, for sure. And then as we get going in the preseason, we'll prepare a little bit more for our opponent and try to give them a way of going about preparation as far as studying how to study your opponent and how to study the game plan and how they transfer that into the game day. So definitely want to see these guys continue to improve. That's what you're looking for, finding some consistency in that regard. So I'm excited to watch these guys play, not just Jimmy and Dwayne, but a lot of other guys too that, you know, I want to see how Cole Holcomb does in his second game and the rest of these guys, offensive line, defensive line, and secondary.
Jay, as the veterans start to play more as we get into the preseason, typically it's a clear hierarchy of the guys who need to play more versus some of the younger guys who are just going to have to play a little bit less. At receiver, though, it seems you have so many guys, top to bottom, who have stood out. How complicated do you foresee sort of that being to get all these guys enough work to help evaluate what they're doing?
Yeah, that is a tough position. There's, like I said, there's a different skill set for all these guys. And, you know, you got your slot receivers and you got your big physical receivers, you got your speed receivers. So, yeah, I think it's, and then you have to factor in special teams. You know, we drafted Terry because he's one of the best special team guys in the league, but if he's one of our top receivers in the league, then we might have to keep a guy who's really good on special teams. So all that has to factor in. So we're really evaluating how they do it receiver, how much they know, how many different positions they know, and how, you know, how productive they are, but also special teams will play a role eventually.
And it seems like, based on what you've said and just observing, that Trey is like the one guy who we sort of have a sense of what his role is. Just how surprising is it that a year ago we're literally talking about the guy last picked in the draft. He goes on IR twice, only played in 3 games, and yet he's the one guy that seems to you have a clear sense that, yeah, we know what he's going to do, and we feel good about that going forward.
Yeah, he's got a little sore thumb right now, but yeah, definitely. He's got the skill set you want at that receiver, tough, physical, smart. You know, you got to have those attributes to play slot because there's a lot of different looks. You got a lot of different formations, nuances of that position that you have to handle mentally and physically, and we feel like he can do that. But we also have some guys emerging. You know, Steven Sims doing a good job in there. Kidsey can play all three spots. He's doing a good job as well. So it's great to see Trey when he's out there. He's very productive, very good, very dependable, very durable, or not, he hasn't been durable, he's been hurt, but very dependable, knows what to do, knows how to get there, and catches the ball extremely well.
You just mentioned it real quick, but can you give an injury update on Trey and Quentin Dunbar and anybody else that you anticipate being out today?
Yeah, Trey hurt his thumb pregame warm-up, ran into him, so he'll be probably questionable for the game. But he'll be okay. And then Dunbar, he's just a little sore, so we kept him out yesterday. We'll see how he does today. And then Josh is going to have surgery today, I think. Woodrum.
Here and do what I need to do. And once they said I was signed, then that's when. But I still try to make it to the crew. So.
Were you pretty certain at the end yesterday after that you would get signed, or did you not know?
I thought I performed like I needed to, so I figured I might get signed, but that was ultimately up to them, so thankfully they signed me. But I feel like I did.
How soon after the workout did they tell you?
They waited around for quite some time. I know there's a couple other guys who did stuff, but it wasn't too long.
I guess you're familiar. There was another quarterback from Baylor that might have played here a little bit.
Yeah, RG. I was actually with him at the Ravens. So.
Oh, you were up there?
Yeah.
When was that?
For OT, rookie mini camp and OTAs.
Oh, you spent the whole spring up there?
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah. And then they released me again, started training again, and came up here.
Did you talk to him about the Redskins?
Nah, he more so. I was focused on learning the plays up there. They said I might play Thursday, but they don't really know yet. So I'm trying to learn the plays right now, get in where I fit in.
To be home and out of Richmond.
Definitely ready to get home, get in my own bed, and be around my family again. So definitely excited for that.
For yourself, what did you want to accomplish in this game?
I wanted to get better every day, show myself that I'm healthy and I can practice multiple days in a row and I can compete with the best of them. I felt like I did.
I know we've been talking about this a lot, but you've looked really healthy, really crisp. Do you feel that yourself? Do you feel what we see?
Yeah, I definitely feel good. Definitely feels different than last year. The way guys are guarding me, the type of separation I'm getting, it just feels a lot better.
Is this the best you felt in a while, like going into a season, like feeling like you can do what we all kind of have seen you done in the past?
Definitely. I feel this is one of the best I've felt in the last 2 years, 3 years. So I'm just looking forward to continue to get better.